Welcome back again, folks. So you just watched the opening scene to the HBO series Watchmen, and I remember when I showed this clip last year, the students were watching, and because you teach 5 classes by, you see these things 5 times. So, oftentimes when I'm showing the students like a video, I'm paying attention more to the reaction of the students than I am to the video because I know the video so well. And I remember when I showed this video, there were 2 things that I noticed happen. The first was the class was very quiet during the whole time, which is weird because usually when I show, certain videos, they'll cheer or they'll make some type of noise like, you know what I mean? They'll respond in some way. But in this case, the class was completely quiet. And I remember in my 8th period class when the video was close to being over, as soon as it ended, again, there was this silence, and I hear a student towards the front of the room go, "Please tell me that really didn't happen." And he wasn't saying it to me, and he wasn't saying to the class. He was kind of thinking out loud in his head. And yeah, this really happened. Obviously, it's a TV show, but what they did in the TV show was they took pictures from the actual event and then they just made them real life on the screen. So, for example, the little black boy there holding a young child in the middle of the street as the violence is happening. That's inspired by a picture from the aftermath of the event. But what really threw the students off was the plane. And yes, that really happened. So a little bit of trivia. Many people in America think the first U.S. city that was bombed by airplanes was the attack on Pearl Harbor during World War II. And keep in mind, Hawaii wasn't even a state yet at that time. So many people think that's the first time an American city, and to be honest, it wasn't even a city, it was the harbor that was bombed. No, it was actually the first American city to be bombed from the air was Tulsa, Oklahoma in 1921. It was white American citizens dropping bombs on their own country. So the plane is not there for effect. That really happened, and the violence you saw there really happened. And the question we have to ask ourselves then is, well, how do we go from this very wealthy neighborhood, black neighborhood that was successful? You saw it in the previous videos, right? People were very happy. It was probably an image of a black community that you don't get to see often in American history or film. And then to see this violence and this beautiful place completely destroyed. What I gave you is the beginning of the story, and then you just watch the end of the story. And now what we need to do is we need to fill in the middle. So what you're going to do next is you're going to look at, well, what was the actual trigger? What were the things that actually happened the few days before the violence broke out that caused this? And that's what you're going to do in the next activity. So when you click on, let me enlarge. When you click on to go to the next slide, it's going to bring you to a web page. The nice thing about this is that I didn't have to sway it because it actually pretty much is almost like a sway. So when you go into the web page, sorry about that. I guess this is how they do it, or how it's going to appear on your screen. Okay, this is a story that tells you exactly what happened that led to the outbreak of violence. And all you're going to do is you're going to scroll down, and it's in a graphic novel format. So you'll scroll down and you're going to read the story. The only thing is, I noticed when you do this on your phone, some of the frames will not appear on it, but what will happen is a little arrow might appear on the left, and it will say scroll to the right, and then it will have you like move the slide over so you could see the rest of the panels. So that's all you're going to do. You're going to read the graphic novel story to this, and then you're going to read this part at the very end, which is going to get at the big idea, the bigger picture, the so what, and then you'll move on. So I hope this helps and clarifies things so that you know what to do. But then again, that scene, when Americans saw it, when this aired in 2019, many people online were like, did this really happen? And it really woke America up, because a lot of America did not know about this history. A lot of Americans never knew of Tulsa. There are some people in the black community who did, because they researched the history. But this was a buried history, and as you're doing the reading on the next page, in the graphic novel in the section after, what you have to ask yourself is, what is the cost of burying history? What is the cost of trying to keep these moments in history silenced and quiet so that people don't know about it? All right, I hope this helped. We'll speak soon.